In this video, I'm going to teach you how to crack hashes in Python, and more specifically, you're going to learn how to crack MD5 hashes or an MD5 hash. Now, if you didn't know, hashing or a hash function is an algorithm that computes or gives out a fixed size value from a file or even from a string. Alright, now what does that actually mean? Well, simply put, let's say that you want to send a file to your friend over the internet. You trust the file that you're sending, meaning that you are very certain of its integrity. And you want to make sure that your friend receives the same file, such as that no other malicious entities intercept the file, modify it, and forward the modified version to your friend. Therefore, in order to validate the integrity, you MD5 hash it and get the hash value of your file before sending it. That actually means that you calculate a unique value string from the entire information contained in the file. If the file suffers even the slightest modification, the unique value string will actually be different. Now, in other words, the file is going to have a different MD5 hash. What's particularly interesting about MD5 hashes is that they have not only been used for data integrity, but also for ways to store passwords. So let's say that you have a password called secret, and you want to save it safely or not allow it in its plain text version. Similarly to what you're doing to MD5 hash a file, you can MD5 hash this password and you will actually get a unique hash of it. And interestingly enough, even though MD5 hashes are very poor and unsecure ways to store passwords, there are a lot of systems that still use them today. And to get back to what we're doing here, we're going to build a code that, given an MD5 hashed password, it will try to crack it. In other words, it will try to reverse it. In other words, giving you the plaintext cracked password. Now, before we start, I want to tell you that there are many other more secure ways to hash data other than MD5. You can have SHA, CRC, so you can have SHA, CRC, HMAC, KMAC, and so on. Look up Wikipedia for hashing functions. It's a good place to start if you want to learn more. Now, our program will be run in the command line or terminal in the following way. We'll say Python md5 crack.py. We'll also give it the hash and then the dictionary file.txt. So as you can see, we have two arguments that will provide a hash and the dict.txt. So the basic idea behind the code is very simple. One, it's gonna look into the dictionary, and in the dictionary there's a word on every line. Two, it's going to MD5 hash each word, so MD5 hash each word, and compare the hash with our provided hash. And number three, if there is a match, then we've, so to speak, cracked the hash and retrieved the password. Alright, so let's generate an MD5 hash for the word secret. So we'll say secret over here and then generate. And then this is our hash. Okay, now this program or script would not have been possible without the inspiration coming from Cameron Buchanan's Python Web Penetration Testing Cookbook. So a very big thank you for that. Alright, let's move into Visual Studio Code. So first thing first, we'll import two libraries which are both found in the Python standard library. So the first one is Hashlib, and the second one, so we're going to use argparse instead of sys for command line arguments because I think it's more developed. So we'll also import argparse. Okay, first we're going to work on the command line arguments, which is going to help us make our program more user-friendly. So we'll say parser, we have to create a parser, and we use argparse.argument parser, and then we'll have a description which is going to say MD5 cracker. Okay, and then we add arguments like I said, one for the hash and one for the dictionary. So we'll say parser.add argument is going to be minus MD5. The destination variable is going to be hash. The help message displayed is going to say MD5 hash. And this is going to be a required argument, so required equals true. Then another argument for the word list or dictionary, so we'll say parser add underscore argument, let's say minus W. The destination variable is going to be word list. The help message displayed is going to be word list for convenience, and this is also a required argument. Then we have to parse them so that they can actually work. So we'll say parsed args equals parser parse args. So this is actually gonna parse the arguments. Then we'll create a main function. So we'll say def main, not man, and instantiate a variable as empty string that will output in the case the hash is not cracked. So we'll say hash underscore cracked equals empty string. Now let's open our dictionary or our word list. So with open parsed args word list, so parsed args word list as file, and then go line by line through each word. So we'll say for line in file, we'll do line equals line.strip. We use the strip to strip the words of spaces. Okay, and then we MD5 hash the word and compare it with our provided hash. So this is actually the main functionality of the code. So we'll say if hashlib.md5 bytes, we need the bytes of the line, and we also need to encode it in UTF-8, and then we have to hex digest it. So we use the hex digest method. So if the hashlib, if the MD5 of our line is equal to parsed args dot hash, so if we have a match, then hash cracked is going to be updated to the line. So we actually got the password. And then we can simply print on a new line MD5, let's say hash has been successfully cracked. The value is line, of course. However, the other if hash underscore cracked, this is indented here, even more so here, if we get through the entire loop without actually having the hash cracked updated. So if hash cracked equals an empty string, we can simply print on a new line failed to crack the hash. Try using a bigger, different dictionary. That's it. Finally, we get out the function and we say if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equals underscore underscore main, simply run the main function. This actually means that when we run the program in the command prompt or terminal, the main function is going to execute. And that's actually the whole gist of it. Again, simplicity at its finest. Now let's save this and test it in the command prompt. So I'm going to navigate to desktop where we have the script, and I'll say Python md5 crack.py, and then I need to provide the hash for the word secret that we have over here. So copy this, and then I also need to specify the dictionary like I said. So -w. The dictionary on the desktop, I think it's dict.txt. Invalid syntax. Okay, there's no dot outside, the dot is inside. Control save. Alright, let's go back, repeat the command. We need to specify the arguments with -md5, which is the hash, -w dict.txt. There you have it. It's been actually cracked in no time. However, this was a short word list and our attack was a dictionary attack. Now, for larger word lists, such as in the millions of words, it may take extensively longer and we'd have to use a queuing and threading in Python to actually dramatically increase the speed and reduce the time versus a sequential approach like this one. In any case, if you want to go deeper into this rabbit hole, I encourage you to study and try it yourself. Put your imagination to work. This is Python and it gives you limitless possibilities.